The Mississippi Basin is stretched across 31 American states and 3 Canadian provinces, reaching 2,981 million kilometers square. The basin proceeds to cover 40% of the southern states, with 16 major river tributaries and many smaller creeks and rivers. The Mississippi River has the 4th largest basin in the world. The river itself is 3,766 kilometers in length and is the second longest river in North America, with the Missouri River being the longest and being a major tributary to the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River is replenished through rainfall and snowmelt. The greatest amount of average rainfall occurs during May and June, as shown in the map of the basin. One of the major features of the river is Lake Itasca, which is located just downstream of the source of the river, in Minnesota. The river is a glacial lake, which means that it was originally sourced by melting ice. When the ice melts, it erodes the ground and leaves a large lake where the space was. Then the lake would have been affected by lateral erosion, which would have worn away at the side of the banks as the years went past, widening the lake. The lake is a major attraction to the area for tourism, as many people want to see the lake that is so close to the source of the Mississippi River. There are many user groups in regards to the river, with recreation and commercially. This relationship is generally a positive one. However, with all human-environment relationships, there are negative aspects, which include local townspeople use of the river as a source of water, as well as a way of providing an income by using the water as a selling point for products of tourism. However, this is a negative, as much of the waste from towns can be washed into the river. Farmers use the water for agriculture purposes, such as watering stock and irrigating plants. The most common farming practices that occur along the Mississippi River is cropping, including soybean and corn. This can also have a negative effect on the river, as fertilizer and waste from the farm can be washed into the water. The tourism industry on the Mississippi River is also very popular. Being the 4th largest basin in the world and the 2nd largest river in North America, draws in quite a large amount of people. Over 12 million people travel to the Mississippi River each year, spending $1.2 million and creating 18,000 jobs in the area. This can also have a negative impact on the river, as there is much pollution and rubbish left behind by the tourism industry. There are many people who visit or use the river for recreational purposes, such as hiking, bike riding, canoeing, and fishing. With such a wide area, there are many places that people can complete these activities. As the river is a major factor in transporting produce out of America into the Gulf of Mexico, between 55 to 65% of produce along the river is transported via river barge, as well as much of the inputs onto farms such as fertilizer, mulch, sand, and steel, which are transported up the major river tributaries. The Mississippi River is surrounded in some areas or passes through many national parks. This means that the area has been taken care of and observed by caretakers. Rangers and parks people use the river as a way of supporting themselves. By taking care of the river and the people who use the river, they're supporting their families. This can be called a symbiotic relationship. The main company that manages the Mississippi and its basin is the Army Corps, who had the decision to release water from dams, build and destroy levees, and organize the levels of the river. However, their strategies often cause conflicts between the engineering companies and citizens along the Mississippi River. Their actions often affect downstream towns and farms negatively, causing floods or causing droughts. These strategies are very ineffective due to people losing faith in the company that runs the river. To improve their management, they should have rules set in place where they can only make an action when it doesn't affect one party positively and everyone else negatively. There are also 2 groups that are divided into the Upper Mississippi River Basin Association. This group was designed to monitor the pollution in the river and to coordinate river programs. However, the Lower Mississippi River Conservation Committee is designed to look at biological impacts on the river and looking at the restoration of the river and trying to have management programs. One of the main conflicts in the basin is the river slowly beginning to lose more water than is being replenished with. This is because the Missouri River, which is a major source of the water, is drying up. So the Army Corps have previously had to make decisions to shut down the flow of water from the Missouri Dam, which then affects the supply to the Mississippi. This then causes the river levels to drop, which then in turn means that shipping cannot continue, as the river needs more than 9 feet of water to complete any shipping of produce. At other times, when the water levels are rather high, the Army Corps have let water out to replenish reserves. This has a positive effect for the reserves, but then causes flooding downstream. This infuriates farmers and local citizens along the water, as them, their families, and their land are put in danger. The Army Corps are now trying to have better management techniques, which include better communication with the general public, so these unfortunate situations don't happen again. There is also fear for people on the Mississippi River that North Dakota is going to start using water from the Missouri to help with their booming oil businesses. This will diminish the water supply drastically and cause further loss of water further downstream. This causes conflict between governments as the public are nervous about their future water supplies. This in turn causes conflict between citizens as they struggle to understand what will happen to their water. The Mississippi River at the moment has abnormally low water levels. This is due to more people requiring the water than the river is able to replenish. The public have been urging the government to introduce a taxing program where ships are charged for navigating through the river. This would help relieve the congestion on the river from shipping, as well as improve the river's health through income for the processes of letting water out of the dams and slow the river down and restore the floodplains. There is also a high level of pollution in the Mississippi River. This is due to many contaminations of DDT and fertilizers, which is an agricultural runoff, as well as waste products from storage. The Clean Water Act has reduced much of the pollution in the river by controlling and managing the amount of waste that runs into the river and funding water treatment facilities to protect wetlands. Clean Water Act is working really well, as it also educates people about what goes into the water that they drink and how people can affect the water in their glasses. The Act was designed to restore and maintain the chemical, physical, and biological integrity of the nation's water.